Good evening and welcome. You're watching the News Track. I'm Rahul Kamal. On this week's edition of the Political Stock Exchange, we look at the impact that Vinesh Phogat joining the Congress party in Haryana could have on the assembly elections in the state. We've got the latest polling data from C-Voter, this week's PSE, coming up on the News Track tonight.
Stage set for Haryana Dangal. Vinesh enters election ring. Congress-AAP alliance hits a roadblock. Dissent and rebellion in BJP. Who will win State of War Haryana? That is our political stock exchange.
Let me take you through the headlines I'm tracking tonight. Congress AAP seat-sharing talks in Haryana hit a roadblock. Sources say AAP will drop out if it doesn't get the seats it wants. Senior Congress leader Randeep Surjewala says Congress should not ally with AAP. Home Minister Amit Shah launches BJP's Mission Kashmir, says a progressive and peaceful J&K is the BJP's biggest poll promise. Shah dares Rahul Gandhi to clear his stand on Article 370.
क्या कांग्रेस पार्टी ये एजेंडा के साथ सहमत है कि आप 370 फिर से वापिस लाना चाहते हो? इसकी बात आपने करनी चाहिए.
Big outrage in Tamil Nadu over a motivational speaker's casteist speech at a government school. CM Stalin says new guidelines will be issued for school events. Headmistress is transferred. No breakthrough in the hunt for man-eater wolves in Uttar Pradesh. 18 sharpshooters are deployed. India Today tracks Operation Bhediya. India bags another gold at the Paris Paralympics. Praveen Kumar strikes gold in the high jump. India's medal tally now stands at 26. From the wrestling mat to the political ring, Vinesh Phogat and Bajrang Punia are now officially in the Congress. Vinesh, in fact, is likely to fight the upcoming Haryana polls from the Julana constituency. In her first address as a Neta, Vinesh hit out at the BJP, declaring she will continue to fight for women's rights. Mausami Singh and Rahul Gautam with our top story tonight.
Thank you. Welcome.
From wrestling arena to political dangal, Olympians Vinesh Phogat and Bajrang Punia finally made their plunge ahead of the Haryana Assembly elections. She will be contesting the upcoming Haryana Assembly polls from the Julana constituency, a Jat stronghold. Firing her first salvo as a Neta at the BJP, Vinesh said she is proud to join a party that supports women.
बोलते हैं ना कि बुरे टाइम में पता लगता है कि अपना कौन है. जब हम रोड पे घसीटे जा रहे थे तो छोड़ के बीजेपी को देश में जितनी भी पार्टियां हैं वो हमारे साथ में थी. मैं बहुत प्राउड फील कर रही हूं कि मैं एक ऐसी पार्टी में एक ऐसी विचारधारा में हूं जो महिलाओं के साथ हो रहा अन्याय और उनके साथ बुरे बर्ताव के खिलाफ खड़ी है.
Bajrang Punia too termed the BJP as an anti-woman and anti-farmer party.
बीजेपी के जो सांसद थी, जितनी भी महिला सांसद थी, उनके घर पे लेटर दिया था, वो फिर भी उन बच्चियों के साथ नहीं खड़े हो पाए. कांग्रेस पार्टी तो बिना कुछ हमने इनको बताया ये वहाँ पे हमारे साथ खड़े हुए. ये चीज हमें पता लगी कि जो अत्याचार बेटियों पे हुआ और सभी पार्टी हमारे साथ खड़ी थी.
The induction of Vinesh Phogat and Bajrang Punia into the grand old party can put the BJP on the defensive over issues like women's safety.
I'm proudly say that Rahul Gandhi ji, Priyanka Gandhi ji, Mallikarjuna Kharge ji, all senior leaders and all leaders of India Alliance also stood with her, stood with them for their genuine causes, for fighting against the injustice which happened to them.
The BJP leaders, though, were clearly not happy with the wrestlers joining the Congress party. Haryana CM Nayab Saini, expressing disappointment, asserted that Olympians fell prey to Congress's politics.
हरियाणा के वो हीरे हैं, मैं ये मानता हूँ, और हमारे देश की वो शान है। वो ऐसे व्यक्ति हैं जिन्होंने अपने एक भारत का नाम ऊंचा किया है, परंतु कांग्रेस राजनीति करती है। ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है, राजनीति नहीं होनी चाहिए।
The BJP leaders wondered if the movement led by wrestlers in Delhi was plotted by the Congress.
कांग्रेस पहले दिन से ही इनकी बैक पे थी और इनके उकसाने से ही वो आंदोलन चल रहा था, नहीं तो उसका बहुत जल्दी फैसला भी हो जाता। नहीं, अगर वो देश की बेटी से कांग्रेस की बेटी बनना चाहती है तो हमें क्या एतराज है।
Wrestler Sakshi Malik, who protested with Vinesh against former Wrestling Federation of India head Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh over sexual abuse of female athletes too, seemed unhappy with her fellow wrestlers entering the political dangal.
ये उनका व्यक्तिगत फैसला है, पर्सनल चॉइस है उनकी कि वो पार्टी में जाना चाहते हैं। बाकी मेरा मानना ये है कि कहीं ना कहीं हमें त्याग कर देना चाहिए, और बाकी जो हमारा जो आंदोलन था, जो बहन बेटियों की लड़ाई थी, वो उसको गलत रूप ना दिया जाए। मैं अभी भी उस पर डट के खड़ी हूँ
कि वो उनका स्वागत करके उन्हें पार्टी में शामिल करें।
With the two of the most decorated wrestlers now in the Congress, will it be a game changer for the party? With Mosmi Singh and Rahul Gautam in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
What's the likely impact of Vinesh Phogat joining the Congress ahead of the Haryana Assembly elections likely to have on the poll contest? I want to give you a quick run-through of some of the questions from the Political Stock Exchange this week. Question number one, what impact will Vinesh Phogat and Bajrang Punia joining the Congress have on the party's electoral prospects? 41% of the overall respondents seem to think it will have a significant boost on the party's electoral campaign. 21% say it will have a minor impact on the party's electoral campaign. The interesting thing to note over there, though, is that even amongst BJP voters, almost half the BJP voters think it will either have a significant impact or a minor positive impact. So obviously, the Congress voters think it will have a significant impact. That's but obvious. But look here, even within those who say they support the BJP in Haryana, 47% are saying it will have an impact, a positive impact, either significant or minor but positive. Those who think it will have very little effect is about 1 in 4 of the total voters. Will Vinesh Phogat's entry into the Congress and electoral fray dent her image as a national Indian hero? Here are the responses to this question. Here people are split. About 40% of the respondents say yes, it will have a split. 40% say no. So people here confused, especially amongst the BJP. Those who say it will dent her image, 50%. Amongst Congress voters, fewer seem to think it will dent her image. That again quite obvious. But on the big question of, if you cast aside morality, will her presence make a difference? A very big number, 41, 4 in 10 say yes, it will make a difference. I want to introduce you to our guests joining us for this broadcast, starting with Yashwant Deshmukh, lead cephalogist at Seawater. It's his team that's done this data for us. We have Rohan Gupta from the BJP, Swati Malik from the Congress, Anmol Pawar from the Aam Aadmi Party. But I first want to spend some time with Yogendar Yadav, co-founder Swaraj India, who's made clear he's speaking as a political activist and not as a number cruncher. He comes from the state of Haryana, understands its politics well. So, Mr. Yadav, last time when the assembly election happened in Haryana, it was on the back of a massive Modi tsunami in the Lok Sabha, and yet the BJP struggled to cross the finishing line. It required the JJP to ultimately be able to form a government. Now, with 10 years of anti-incumbency, with the centre not as strong as it was in the last Lok Sabha elections, and the fact that Vinesh and Bajrang Punia have joined the Congress, and if the AAP-Congress alliance happens, is it a case of everything that could potentially go wrong for the BJP, all of it going wrong to create a perfect storm?
Thank you, Rahul. You've pretty much said what needs to be said. That really is the situation. Sitting in television studios, we can create suspense out of anything in the world. But honestly, there isn't much of a suspense in the Haryana Assembly election. I'm not into forecasting, and I said to you, I'll not get into seat forecasting. But to my mind, I mean, ask anyone on the street, the simple question is, will it be a simple victory for the Congress? Will it be a wave for the Congress, or will it be a tsunami for the Congress? These are the three ranges that we are looking at. As yet, we cannot say which one of the three might happen. But that's the range, and every day something or the other happens to push it further in the direction of a bigger and bigger victory for the Congress. The basic reason, there are three things that are working right now for the Congress. First is the basic electoral arithmetic. As you rightly said, 2019 BJP had a massive victory in Lok Sabha. Not only did they win all the 10 seats, they had a 30 percentage point lead over the Congress. BJP had 58%, Congress had only 28%. Within a few months, when the assembly election took place, BJP came down to 36%. Congress remained at 28%. But the result from winning all the seats, BJP had won 89, I think almost 80 seats out of 90 in that election, had led that time. At the assembly election, they are down to 40 seats. So in other words, the simple thing is that from a parliamentary election to an assembly election, things get harder for the BJP. It's more of a split verdict. Things are harder for BJP.
But let's also look at what's not falling in place for the Congress. Yogendraji, you know well that oftentimes the Congress is the Congress's worst enemy. We are seeing how Messrs. Surjewala and Shailja up in arms against the Hoodas, who they think are running roughshod over them in ticket selection and allocation. They've protested very clearly, and then there is the protest that the Hoodas have, and so does Sandeep Surjewala, who said publicly that there should be no alliance with Kejriwal's AAP. They don't want the alliance. So now you've got two factors of creating the prospect of internal sabotage or internal dissent, which has often been the Congress's undoing in the past.
Yes, I've heard people say that the only party that can defeat the Congress in this election is the Congress itself. As yet, we haven't seen much of that. We have seen much worse in the past. But that the reason could be that Congress is not out with the list as yet. Let the list come out. Let us see what has happened. As yet, what we have seen is that the dissension within the BJP is a more organized party. BJP is a more disciplined party. But what we have witnessed in the BJP is an open rebellion. So let's see whether the contestation over tickets in Congress is much higher order than that of the BJP. Let's wait and see that. I do expect dissension in an election which you are expected to win. You can never satisfy everyone with ticket. There is bound to be dissension. There is bound to be unease. There are bound to be some rebels. I expect more rebels than normal in this election. At the same time, let's wait and see if the dissension within Congress is of an order and magnitude which can change the overall situation. And the overall situation is what we need to focus on, Rahul. And I was saying that apart from this basic psephological situation, which you explained and which I explained, there is also an additional factor of a very strong anti-incumbency against the state government, much more against a Modi government in the national election. And someone explained it in 3 words. I think it beautifully captured that. He said, Kisan, Jawan, Pahalwan. These 3 things will basically ruin the BJP's electoral prospects. Kisan, because this was a site of the farmers' movement, because the unease and anger against the BJP on the farmers' issue has not gone. Jawan is not only Agniveer, it's also general unemployment. Agniveer is important in Haryana's case because while Haryana is a very small state, it contributes almost 10% to the armed forces in the country. And shrinking of that and being reduced to a contractual employment is a very serious issue. And Pahalwan is an issue that we've all been talking about. This is not merely about wrestling, not merely about sports. The 2 persons who have joined the Congress party today, they're not just Olympic medalists. They are not, but even if they were, today someone like Vinesh Phogat, she is more of a national icon than she would have been even if she had a gold medal. Remember, she's not coming merely as someone who performed brilliantly in Paris Olympics, not merely someone who has been wronged in the Olympics, and the entire country's sympathies are with us. She also comes as someone who has fought one of the bravest battle on the street. So she's not just a sports person who's coming in. And their entry, although one or two people's entry does not change the overall election, I would not call it a game changer. But yes, it gives a fillip. So these are the kind of things.
But I was having a conversation with top BJP strategists recently, those who are leading the party's campaign in Haryana. They seem to think that it's not what appears on the surface, that the BJP, particularly in urban areas and amongst the non-Jats OBCs, has enough of a caste coalition where if the opposition vote can get split, like it did in the last elections where the JJP did well, the INLD has been king and kingmaker in the past, and if the two smaller Dalit parties, Azad's party and the BSP, also split the Dalit vote, then it becomes more exciting and a closer contest than would seem on the surface.
There are too many ifs in this equation, Rahul. What you spelt out is absolutely has been BJP's strategy. BJP's strategy has been, it's a caste strategy. I mean, we normally, while discussing BJP, we forget that BJP has not merely caste, has had a polarizing strategy. In Haryana, it is called 35 Ek, which is to say in the mythical 36 communities of Haryana, BJP's political project has been to isolate one community, namely the Jats, and put the remaining 35 against them. That worked to BJP's advantage. BJP has done very well precisely on the basis of this formula. It doesn't seem to be working this time. You spoke about Dalits. So far, there is no indication that either BSP or Chandrasekhar Ravan's party is making any dent so far. It's also not clear whether BJP is able to retain its urban votes, because there is the unease, the anti-incumbency against the government affects everyone. You cannot then bisect it along caste lines. So there is unease with the government, and when you retire your own chief minister after 9 years, you are kind of conceding that, all right, we didn't have much to show. So that affects throughout the state, but yes, BJP would hope.
Is the Congress better off with an alliance with the AAP or without an alliance with the AAP?
Haryana and in southern Haryana.
Should Congress fight alone, or is it better off in an alliance with the AAP?
If the question is, does the Congress need Aam Aadmi Party to win the election in Haryana? My simple answer would be no, I don't think so. Yes, you can always go better, but the manner in which Congress needed an alliance in the Rajasthan Assembly election, which it incidentally did not go for, that's not the situation they have in Haryana. They don't need an alliance to win Haryana elections this time. Some of the important leaders of Aam Aadmi Party who could have won a seat have already defected to the Congress. There are not too many constituencies in Haryana where Aam Aadmi Party on its own can get a decent vote share and transfer it to Congress. However, if the consideration for alliance is not Haryana, if the consideration is larger unity of India coalition and possible alliance in Delhi, that's a different ball game altogether. That's a different, national considerations are very different. State considerations do not indicate any need for an alliance.
Yogendra Yadav for joining us on the news track. Thank you very much. Rohan Gupta, the last time the BJP was facing a contest where everything that could go wrong seemed to be going wrong was in Karnataka. Now in Haryana as well, this idea that AAP and Congress could ally, reducing the prospects of the opposition vote splitting. Vinesh Phogat, who's clearly very popular in Haryana at this time, especially amongst the youth, amongst the women, joining the Congress. 10 years of anti-incumbency. Do you just accept that this is a very, very difficult political pitch for the BJP to be batting on?
See, Rahul, for BJP, any election is a crucial election, and BJP doesn't find any election with overconfidence.
Sure.
And I'm very, very happy to see our opponents being very, very overconfident about Haryana, but the ground real situation is completely different, Rahul. I'll give you 3 examples of that. The way Congress party had to go for alliance with Aam Aadmi Party, they realized that whatever air or hawa they are trying to create, that okay, there is a wave in favor of Congress, the ground reality is completely different. That's why they thought consolidation of Aam Aadmi Party and Congress happens, it might help Congress. Number two, in a worse situation, at the time of Lok Sabha elections, Rahul, you know that two crucial issues related to farmers and Agniveer. After Lok Sabha elections, under Naib Sainiji's government, you know that MSP has been promised, and after that, a reservation of 10% has been given to Agniveers in all the police recruitments. So I think on ground, I could see that worst situation was over when Lok Sabha elections were over. Even in that situation, BJP could win 44 seats out of 90 seats, 4 seats went to Aam Aadmi Party. That was the worst case scenario as far as BJP is concerned. Third important thing, the way we see that certain things were orchestrated, and we have seen culmination of that happening today. If Congress party had been so confident about their win in Haryana, they wouldn't have gone for this kind of alliance with Aam Aadmi Party, or maybe wanting to do alliance with Aam Aadmi Party. Third important thing, the killers of Mr. Sukhdev Musewala, the accused of that killing, friends of them have been recruited by Congress party. Fourth important thing, there are 3 leaders in Congress party who have never seen on them stage. Fifth important thing, even now Congress party is not able to declare their list. So if you put all these 5 points in perspective,
Swati Malik, respond to this. Massive infighting in the Congress. Surjewala, Shailja not on the same page as the Hoodas. The fact that you're in conversation with the Aam Aadmi Party suggests to many that there is some weakness, that publicly you may appear to be strong, but internally you are concerned. That's the way the BJP will try and spin it, which is why you want to do an alliance. If you thought you could win on your own, you wouldn't need this alliance. And particularly on infighting, despite all the meetings Shailja has had with the Gandhis, she and Surjewala are clearly not on the same page as the Hoodas.
Rahul, thank you for having me on your debate, on your discussion rather. But this first concern that you've shown about the so-called infight. Now, if you recall, before the Karnataka elections, this was exactly the narrative being set up, that there's so much infight in Karnataka, the kind of dispute between the older ones and the younger one, etc., etc. And we were, the narrative was said that Congress is going to beat Congress in Karnataka because of this infight. But they stood together, they contested together, they won together, and they're running a very successful government. Similarly, now same is the situation in Haryana. Of course, it's a family and it's a very democratic setup that we have in Congress. If somebody has an issue, they're allowed to speak up. It's not like the BJP. It's not like the BJP where even the sitting, what happened with in Rajasthan about the Queen, how she was set aside and she's not even uttered a single word. She hasn't even had the poor thing has not even been allowed the space to even show her discomfort or her rather her displeasure about not being named the CM. But Congress here, we are allowed to speak our minds. And yes, even if the 3 people, the narrative being set is the 3 people they can't be seen on the stage together, they've not been seen on the stage together yet. That's all a narrative. It's only to distract from the real issues. Like Mr. Yadav very clearly put, the issues that Haryana is facing is not these 3 people not being seen together, but of course that of farmers, that of wrestlers, and the...
Okay, I will take some more questions from the political stock exchange. Which party appears more divided in Haryana? Here are the responses to this question. 44% of the overall respondents say it's the Congress that seems more divided in Haryana. 29.5% say the BJP is more divided. Both are equally divided as the answer from 13% of the respondents. The problem here for the Congress is even within Congress supporters, 55% of Congress supporters think the Congress is more divided in Haryana than the BJP is. Obviously, the BJP supporters have a different take on it. Now, but this is the number, Yashwant Deshmukh, that stands out for me. 55% of Congress supporters and 44% of overall voters seem to think that the Congress is more divided in Haryana. And if you ask any smart political strategists at this time, what's the one issue that could derail the Congress's attempt at trying to win Haryana? It seems to be infighting and internal divisions.
Absolutely, Rahul. And that's the only thing which probably is right now putting up any sort of question mark or any doubt whatsoever between a clear-cut Congress victory and doubtful Congress victory. The groundswell, as the trackers have been showing all along, is right now against the BJP. It's 10 years of anti-incumbency. As Yoginji was saying, that even in a routine election, BJP would have found it, kind of difficult. I mean, apart from that, the recent Lok Sabha elections were kind of a dampener for the BJP. They didn't get kind of success they were expecting. The 5 seats they won, but the vote share wise, Congress and Aam Aadmi Party actually polled more than the BJP. And if Lok Sabha election they have polled more than the BJP, then Assembly election obviously are not going to be easy. As in the Lok Sabha election, BJP has a Modi dividend always. I mean, from different states in the last 10 years, we have seen. So anywhere between like 10 to 25% kind of Modi dividend has been there. So obviously, I mean, and the snap poll on today's thing is like, it's like showing that the trends which we are getting in the tracker are only going to be galvanized further. Now, the only problem is that the chart complete polarization for the Congress in the Lok Sabha election. When it's a local election, the INLD a local party, JJP a local party, even with a few thousand votes here and there, all the marginal seats in Haryana, the Congress will find going trickier over there.
No, also the question, Jat consolidation is one question. Yashwant, the second question is around Dalit consolidation. In the Lok Sabha elections, this idea that somehow the BJP would do away with reservation crept into the subalterns, particularly in North India. Do you think that continues in the assembly context, or was that a one election issue and is now behind us?
But that issue consolidated in few pockets. I mean, not entire North India. I mean, obviously, BJP swept, apart from the Uttar Pradesh equation and their infighting equation in Rajasthan, we are forgetting that BJP swept 5 out of 5 in Uttarakhand, 4 out of 4 in Himachal, where arguably the Agniveer scheme was.
No, here's my question. Does the idea of Dalit consolidation in favor of the Congress continue at this moment, or is it no longer as strong as it was in the Lok Sabha context, or will you be candid enough to say we don't really know?
No, it's actually we don't really know. It all depends on what kind of things that they carry around. But what I want to say that yes, Dalit consolidation and counter consolidation did happen, but that happened in certain pockets. Yes, in Haryana, it also happened for the first time after a really long time. Jats and Dalits in Haryana don't really go together in that way, the way they were supposed to go. So there would be, because being a local election, there would be kind of a new equation setting in with the candidates and everything decided and the new alliances that are taking place. But that doesn't mean, that doesn't supersede the fact that Congress definitely has a significant head start going into this election. And if anything can stop Congress from winning, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, it is only the Congress.
Anmol Pawar, has the Aam Aadmi Party boxed itself into a corner? There are now reports coming that it's proving tough to reach a seat alliance settlement, and therefore, if there is no alliance, if say Kejriwal comes out of jail next week on bail, he finds it very difficult to go, because till today you are saying that the BJP is the main enemy, Congress and AAP will fight together. Then if that alliance doesn't go through, you don't have the same credibility to campaign across Haryana as you would have, because if you campaign by yourself, you have to curse both the Congress and the BJP. But by indicating that you are willing to tie up with the Congress, you've kind of negated the element of you being a third force, like we saw in Gujarat. So have you boxed yourself in a corner in the way you've played your cards?
Rahulji, first of all, the top leaderships of both the parties, AAP and Congress, may soon reach an agreement, and there may be an alliance. And as far as Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, our party, by prioritizing education, healthcare, water, electricity, and rights of farmers and women, we as a party has emerged as a unique political force that has championed Kaam ki Rajniti. People love Arvind Kejriwal model of governance, and even in Haryana, as far as Haryana is concerned, we have a very strong organization, and we are campaigning on all the 90 assembly constituencies. We hold Badlav rally, door-to-door campaigns, and we are getting tremendous response. So Aam Aadmi Party, even when we contested the Lok Sabha elections, we got more than 5 lakh votes on Kurukshetra seat.
No, but you got those votes also because you were in an alliance with the Congress. If that wasn't the case, you may not have got those 5 lakh votes. What, Yashwant Deshmukh, according to you, is the electoral utility of having the AAP on the Congress's ticket as part of an alliance? Does it serve any purpose at all? Or is Rahul Gandhi making a miscalculation by wanting to ally with the Aam Aadmi Party despite the opposition from the Hoodas and now also from Randeep Surjewala?
Congress doesn't need Aam Aadmi Party to win elections.
Then why are they so keen on this alliance?
Yeah, I mean, that's a larger to give a larger, probably a message that, okay, India alliance is still intact and people should not, doubt the opposition unity and so on and so forth. But I mean, let me put it this way. Congress needs Aam Aadmi Party to win an election in Haryana as much as Aam Aadmi Party needs Congress to win election in Delhi. I mean, it's a big zero.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree. The next Delhi election could be much tougher than the last election for the AAP. Because some of the Muslims, some of the Dalit votes could potentially come back. So Delhi is very different from Haryana.
I know, but as the way the political strength of these parties go, I mean, Aam Aadmi Party would very clearly say that they do not need Congress to win election in Delhi. So honestly, I mean, Congress doesn't need it. But if they go along together, it would be nice to show and put up a narrative that opposition matters.
Swati Malik, can I bring you in on this? What's the utility when Surjewala is speaking out against it? The Hoodas don't want this alliance. All polls seem to suggest that you're winning on your own. Why create space for another political formation which could become bigger and could become a headache for you? Because ultimately the AAP has grown at the Congress's expense wherever it has grown, whether it's Gujarat or Delhi.
Rahul, like I said earlier, this is how we decide here. Everybody is allowed to speak their minds. Mr. Surjewala, Mr. Hooda, everybody is allowed to share their thoughts about...
No, leave that on the side. I'm saying explain the political rationale behind wanting this alliance.
Yes, I'll come to that, yes. But once, because the senior leadership, if they decide to go ahead, the reason that we are still in this dialogue between the two parties is because we do want to keep the India bloc together. We do want to push forward the ideology of India bloc and we want to hold on to. It shouldn't come across as, it was taken up only for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. No, the larger picture here is the ideology. So India bloc ideology together. And that is the reason why the two parties are still in this dialogue, in spite of the fact that the local leadership who have shared their thoughts, but then senior leadership of both the parties will consider it. And that's how they will decide. We are all allowed to speak our minds. But
the problem, Rohan Gupta, from the BJP's perspective is that, like in Goa last time, when there was anti-incumbency after Parikarji's untimely demise, the anti-BJP vote got split between the Congress, AAP was contesting, TMC was contesting, some local Goa parties were contesting, and therefore, even though you lost, you were able to find a way of sneaking in. If AAP and Congress do ally, then very clearly they become the principal lightning rod of anti-incumbency, which means that, Yogendra ji was saying whether it's a small victory or a tsunami, that's all that's for debate. It could consolidate some of the undecided middle-of-the-road kind of voters who may not be so pro-Congress, but may not be so wary about voting for AAP. So it's like a bad case scenario from the BJP's perspective.
I don't agree with that, Rahul. If you see, this is very interesting. You need to understand this in detail. See, Congress High Command, they don't believe in the rosy picture which has been created or maybe been displayed by the state leaders. They clearly understand that ground level situation is different. That's why they want that anti-BJP vote, as you are rightly saying, Aam Aadmi and Congress party, they should combine together and that might favor them. That is the perception of the High Command. But the state leaders think that if they go with Aam Aadmi Party because they are fighting against Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi, they have done the Matka Ford Andolan against Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi. Punjab Congress president just yesterday spoke that Aam Aadmi Party is the most corrupt party across India. I think for them going to the people and saying that okay, they have alliance with Aam Aadmi, it is not going to work on ground. So they are in a catch-22 situation.
And remember, in the Congress,
party,
the Punjab Congress doesn't want this alliance.
And there are,
the Delhi Congress doesn't want this alliance. Absolutely. So there are those
that's what I'm saying.
factors as well. We've already seen Pratap Bajwa come out and say, no, he's in charge of the Congress in Punjab. He says, no, there shouldn't be an alliance.
See, there are...
While the Congress is celebrating Vinesh's political entry, the BJP is firefighting dissent and rebellion. Soon after the party released its first list of candidates for Haryana, a sitting minister and 2 MLAs have quit the party. Will this infighting and dissent hurt the BJP in the upcoming polls? Take a look at this report.
BJP leaders in Haryana breaking into tears after being denied a ticket for the upcoming assembly elections. Deepak Dagar wept in front of his supporters in Prithla after his ticket was cut. In Bhavani Kheda, another Neta, Bishambar Balmiki, found a shoulder to cry on in his supporters. In Sonipat, former Minister Kavita Jain burst into tears. She too has been denied a ticket this time. While some are sad, others are furious. Revolt breaks out in the BJP over ticket distribution in Haryana. A day after the ruling party released a list of 67 candidates, dropping 7 sitting MLAs, including 3 ministers, several leaders hit out against the leadership. Energy and Jail Minister Ranjit Chautala, who is the son of former Deputy Prime Minister Devi Lal, quit the government. He will now fight as an independent.
अचानक एकदम ऐसा फैसला हुआ, मैं भी हैरान हूँ। मॉर्निंग मैंने 10 बजे अपना मंत्रिमंडल से इस्तीफा दे दिया। जब मैं एमएलए मेरा टिकट कट गया तो फिर मुझे मंत्री पद रहना ही नहीं चाहिए, मैंने इस्तीफा दे दिया। अब चुनाव लड़ रहा हूँ, इंडिपेंडेंट जीतूंगा, पिछले साल से भी ज्यादा वोटों से जीतूंगा। एक तरफा इलेक्शन है। 8 तारीख से मेरा कैंपेन शुरू कर रहा हूँ।
Industrialist Savitri Jindal on Thursday announced her candidature from Hisar after being denied a BJP ticket. The party has fielded State Health Minister Kamal Gupta from the seat. Savitri Jindal's son Naveen Jindal is party's Lok Sabha MP from Kurukshetra.
टिकट देने का फैसला जो होता है वो पार्टी का होता है और ऊपर से जिससे जो आज्ञा होती है वो उनको माननी पड़ती है। तो टिकट की कोई बात नहीं है। मुझे मेरी शहर की जनता जैसे कहेगी मैं वैसे करने को तैयार हूँ। सबको मालूम है कि मैं अगर एक बार हाँ कर लूँ तो मैं छोड़ती नहीं हूँ।
BJP MLA Lakshman Napa has quit the party. He is in talks with the Hudas for a Congress ticket. Former Minister Karan Dev Kamboj stepped down as the state BJP's OBC Morcha chief after the party ignored his candidature.
मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूँ पार्टी से कि ऐसी क्या मजबूरी थी कि 2019 में श्याम सिंह राणा का टिकट काटना पड़ गया और अब ऐसी कौन सी मजबूरी आ गई कि इतनी गद्दारी करने के बावजूद भी 2024 में उसको दोबारा टिकट देना पड़ गया। ऐसी कौन सी मजबूरी है, मुझे वो बताएं और अगर वो बताएंगे मैं उससे सेटिस्फाई होऊंगा तो मैं पार्टी का सहयोग करूंगा।
Olympic medal winning wrestler Yogeshwar Dutt posted a cryptic message on social media after losing out on a ticket. He had earlier expressed interest in contesting elections.
सबको मैंने अपने गंवाने की सजता ही हो रही है कि भाई एक खिलाड़ी हूँ, मैं ओलंपिक मेडलिस्ट हूँ, पहले भी चुनाव लड़ा भारतीय पार्टी से और इस बार चुनाव का टाइम है तो हम चाहते हैं कि गंवाने से हमें मौका मिले और हम लड़े उसके लिए।
The BJP in its list has tried to reach out to the Jats by giving 13 tickets to community leaders. It has fielded some leaders who crossed over from Dushyant Chautala's Jan Nayak Janata Party. 14 other OBC leaders and 13 Dalits have found space in the BJP's first list. Haryana Chief Minister Nayab Singh Saini, who is the sitting MLA from Karnal, has been fielded from Ladwa.
किसी ने कोई रिजाइन नहीं किया। हमारे बहुत सीनियर कार्यकर्ता है, हमारी बातचीत हो रही है। देखिए, एक कमल का फूल है, एक व्यक्ति को मिलना है और पार्टी का निर्णय सर्वोपरि होता है। आदरणीय कर्णदेव कंबोज जी से बातचीत करके, क्योंकि हमने हरियाणा के अंदर तीसरी बार सरकार बनानी है और कर्णदेव जी इस जीत के प्रमुख कर्णधार होंगे।
According to sources, the BJP is hopeful many of the leaders who are upset with ticket distribution will fall in line. It has deployed party and Sangh leaders to win over the rebels. With Manjeet Sehgal and Himanshu Mishra, Bureau Report, India Today.
In the PSC tracker this week, the Sea Voter team asked respondents What do you think about the rebellion in the BJP and the impact this may have on the party's poll prospects? This is what respondents had to say. Now look out for two things here. Responses within the BJP and overall responses, right? So 22% of BJP voters think it's a minor issue. 23% say it doesn't really impact prospects. 11% says it's a sign of a vibrant democracy. 19% say it's because the party has invited too many defectors. If you look at the overall responses, 24% saying, the biggest number they're saying, it's because the BJP has welcomed too many defectors, which is why there is so much of a rebellion in the BJP. And I want to show you some data which really captures what's at play. So we did a map. If you look at the tickets that have been given, the BJP has rewarded 21 defectors in this first list that's been put out. 7 of those defectors came from the Congress, 7 came from the JJP, 4 came from the INLD, 1 each from the BSP, the JCP and the Akali Dal. But 21 total defectors. Now Rohan Gupta, that's the problem. You've got 21 defectors. It's about 1 in 3 are defectors, and amongst BJP voters and amongst overall voters, that seems to be the peeve, that you're welcoming too many outsiders.
Rahul, if you see your number, you are showing 19%, you are not showing 45% at the top or 50% of the top. Obviously, suppose somebody's supporter or somebody is asking for a ticket and you ask him, he will say this. Its situation is different here, Rahul. See, Rahul, if you see BJP, they have given 27 tickets to the new people. This winnability is the criteria. There are people, obviously, every ticket, around 20-30 people have asked for the ticket, so they cannot give a ticket to everybody. They cannot please everybody. But if you see the overall message, 27 new people have been given ticket, 9 women have been given ticket. So there is a proper balancing across the caste line, across the gender, across giving chance to new people. There are many ministers whom they are not given ticket. Obviously, it is a ground feedback. When there is a winnability is the criteria, there might be a situation where you cannot please everybody. There are seats, maybe 2 strong people are there. You cannot please most of them. But Rahul, let me tell you one thing. Even after everything, BJP could declare their list before 2 days. Even when we are sitting and doing this debate, where is the Congress list? It's not there. If the party is so confident, they should have declared their list much earlier. Why they were waiting for BJP's list? Why they are going with Aam Aadmi Party alliance? Why they are going recruiting people who are the accused of the killer of their own leader? So the situation, again I am coming back to the point, Rahul, the situation on ground is completely different than what is being tried to be protected. You have seen Madhya Pradesh election, you have seen Chhattisgarh election, none of the debates were saying that BJP is going to win. But what happened? So here the tempo up, or maybe the culmination of the event, which is going to be in favor of BJP. Congress has upped the ante in media or maybe projection against high command that okay, we are going to win. But the ground level situation is completely different. That is why
Yashwant Deshmukh, I was looking at the list of Dinis who've been given tickets in this election. The BJP is given 8 Dinis tickets. Now, this is a party where the PM speaks so strongly against Parivarvad. Is it an acknowledgement of the current situation in the BJP where they're forced to give people like Rao Narbir Singh, who's the son of a former MLA, Rao Mahavir Singh, a ticket. They've given Shruti Chaudhary a ticket. She's Bansilal's granddaughter. They've given Aarti Singh Rao from Ateli a ticket. She's Rao Inderjeet Singh's daughter. Sunil Sangwan's been given a ticket. Bhavya Bishnoi, who's Bhajan Lal's grandson, and Kuldeep Bishnoi's son, he's been given a ticket. Manmohan Badana has been given a ticket. And Shakti Rani Sharma has been given a ticket from Kalka. So is all of this really, all this talk about Parivarvad, when push comes to shove, sabse pehle apni naav bachao?
Not only Parivarvad, I mean, the big number of, not just dinners, but also the turncoats. I mean, basically, people who have been imported from other parties. And if you remember in the MOTN, while we were dissecting the public perception on why BJP did not perform well in the Lok Sabha elections, one of the biggest reasons that the party supporters across country actually counted was the question of imports. Basically, when they said that the cadre was ignored and the people who are coming from other parties were given more importance. So that thing is continuing. I don't know BJP is known to be a party who learns very quickly, but it doesn't seem like that it's gonna any one direction. And on a lighter note, campaign तो कांग्रेस मुक्त भारत का था, लेकिन वो हुआ कि नहीं हुआ. कांग्रेस युक्त भाजपा जरूर होती जा रही है. That's what the general thing that people have started saying in. So obviously, I mean, we will know. I mean, I understand when you win, everything that you do seems like a master stroke. And when you start losing, all those things come to you. But BJP being a cadre-based party, having an institutionalized place for their own people and the feedback mechanism.
Is this part of the problem, Rohan Gupta, that all this mahal that got built over the last 10 years about Chanakya Niti, about, being 10 foot strong politically, that now when things become tougher, or it's actually a return to the political mean, where it's a more equal contest, which is the way it's been. You've got two forces that duke it out. Sometimes party A wins, sometimes party B wins. But you've built this massive mahal, then when things go wrong, all the Chanakya Niti then goes out of the window.
Rahul, you need to understand one fact, that this is the third term BJP is fighting for. You tell me one Congress government who could repeat their government in last 30 years. You give me one example, Chhattisgarh, which it was said to be clear-cut victory for Congress party. What happened? Madhya Pradesh, all the polls, the pre-poll poll, three months back, they were showing that Congress is forming government. Rajasthan, it was said that government has fulfilled all the promises. Why they are not winning? You are talking about the third term, obviously.
Now that's a good point. That's a good point that Rohan Gupta makes. You need to respond to it, Swati Malik. If you look at Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh, the Congress internally and the Congress ecosystem externally was convinced that you were winning in Bhopal and Raipur. You were convinced till 9 a.m. on counting day. It's only after 11 a.m. that the reality struck you कि ये सब TV का, social media का माहौल था. The end result didn't go the way you thought it would.
And Rahul, that's where we learned from. Those results shocked us as well. Because you are right.
What did you learn from Chhattisgarh or Madhya Pradesh?
What we learned is not to create these, not to follow these narratives, but to work hard on the ground. And when Mr. Rohan Gupta, when he talks about, winnability of the candidates, etc., I would just like to remind your viewers, because I'm sure you already remember and you know that Ms. Shruti Chaudhary contested in 2019 from Congress and she lost. But now she has been given a ticket, setting aside the sitting MLA. So where is the winnability? What are they talking about? This is nothing but the whole, the Parivarwad that they've always criticized the Congress for. But now when it comes to themselves and they know whatever, they're trying their best to save whatever little skin they can. So you pointed out, there were 8-9 people they've given those tickets to, and their sitting cabinet ministers have been left out.
I want to do something now. I want to show you a Sankey diagram. What a Sankey diagram does is it captures the flow of quantities. So in this case, leaders from one political party to another. I'll show that to you, and you'll see how the BJP has attracted so many defectors from different parties. So 7 people who were earlier in the Congress have now been given tickets for the BJP, 7 from the JJP, 4 for the INLD, 1 for the BSP, 1 from Akali, 1 from JCP. So the Sankey diagram captures the flow of these leaders into the BJP fold. And I know, Yashwant Deshmukh, that Rohan Gupta, and we'll soon ask Amit Shah this question and others, they will try and put up a brave face. They'll say, nahi, winnability matters, we need to bring the strongest candidate in. If our guy could win, if the polls were showing that, we wouldn't have given these outsiders ticket. But at some level, at some time, the BJP will have to start thinking seriously about it, because they may not say it to the big boys, but internally, this is creating bad blood. People think we work for 5 years, the Karyakarta slogs it out, these outsider Congress, JJP candidates come in, they get the tickets. This is now, even if the top brass doesn't accept it, I'm saying very clearly, this is now an issue within the BJP rank and file.
Absolutely. And, winning matters. I understand that. Jo jeeta wahi Sikandar, and then the things go like that. But the question is that, you put up the missing jigsaw piece of puzzle where you have missing it. Like for in Assam, for 20 years, BJP was party in the waiting kind of thing. That missing piece was Himanta Biswa Sharma, and that fits in. Here the question is that you are just trying to pull out your set pre-positioned pieces and you are putting up and hammering down a foreign piece over there probably. And that's where the discontent is coming in. And it's something which has happened in Lok Sabha election. And we have done analysis, Rahul, brilliant analysis in India today, putting across how many of these turncoats actually did not win, actually. And we have seen how the people have reacted. So let's see. I mean, of course, election is election. Everybody fights to contest, fights to win the election. So if this all fits in for the BJP to get a third term, which arguably I agree with the BJP spokesperson that it's a difficult thing to contest when you are going for the third term. But having said that, we will know on the day of the counting what exactly happens, what goes around. I mean, suppose if suppose BJP loses the election, but all these people who are important, they actually managed to win their seat. Then we will have different analysis. You see, BJP was really on the weak wicket. Their own people could not win, but all these turncoats could win.
No, so it's not, Yashwant, I disagree with you slightly to the extent that it's not only about victory and defeat. It's also about quantum of victory and defeat. If A party wins very big and B loses very badly or vice versa, then it has a signalling impact on Maharashtra, on Jharkhand, and on national politics going forward in the winter session and beyond. Absolutely. These elections, I know some people might think channel wale to aise bolte because they have to get people excited around elections. But the fact is...
No, but these are important things, Rahul, which you said. And more importantly, I think in a longer term, what BJP probably hasn't looked around is that how much this instant winning, the compulsion of winning and the compromises that the party has made for winning an election has diluted that party with a different kind of brand.
Oh, sure.
I think at some point of time, this has to come in their agenda somewhere in their introspection that what has happened to them.
There's a lot to think about, which obviously Rohan Gupta and the others won't accept on TV, but behind the scenes, those are issues that need to be looked at very carefully. For the moment, it seems it's the Congress that's playing the cards, and the BJP now will have to react and respond and somehow try and seize the narrative and push the Congress on the political mat. Let's see if that can happen. It's a very different contest from the kind that Messrs. Modi and Shah have won and fought over the last 10 years. So it's a different kind. They're still formidable batsmen, but can they bat on a very difficult wicket? It'll be interesting to see how Haryana plays. The chairperson of the Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, Madhvi Puri Buch, is likely to be summoned by the Public Accounts Committee later this month. The PSC, which is an oversight body for government accounts and PSUs, is headed by Congress's General Secretary KC Venugopal. This is the latest blow against the country's capital and commodity markets regulator, who's been taking flak from the opposition in the past 1 month.
These were day-long protests outside the Bandra Kurla complex headquarters of SEBI on Thursday, the 5th of September. A day earlier, a letter written to the Finance Ministry last month had been leaked. It listed several complaints against the SEBI hierarchy and was reportedly signed by nearly 500 employees of the regulator. The opposition pounced on the opportunity to corner SEBI chairperson Madhvi Puri Buch with the Public Accounts Committee, headed by senior Congress leader KC Venugopal, hinting at summoning her soon. The decision is significant as a review of regulatory bodies is rare, with no instance of such summons in the recent past.
Came to know that there is a subject, so moto subject taken by the PSC. That is assess the situations of the performance of the regulatory bodies. In that regulatory body, everything will be, not only SEBI, TRAI will be there, ERA will be there.
Madhvi Puri Buch first came under attack when Hindenburg Research, in a report of 10th of August, accused her of conflict of interest in the Adani probe, of using her influence to get her husband placed as an advisor at Blackstone and encouraging real estate investment trust, which Blackstone also sponsors. The Congress then started its attack on Buch, first accusing her of receiving salary and ESOPs from the ICICI Group even after assuming her responsibilities at SEBI. It has also accused her of receiving rental income from an entity affiliated with pharma major Wockhardt, which the party says was under investigation for various cases. including that of insider trading.
तो कुल मिलाकर ये इस दौरान आईसीआईसीआई से 16 करोड़ 80 लाख 22,143 रुपए ले चुकी हैं। तनख्वाह सेबी की आप पूछेंगे इस दौरान कितनी हुई, तो 3 करोड़ 30 लाख 28,246। 2019-20 ये भी अभी भी वो होल टाइम मेंबर हैं, सेबी में हैं। किराया 36 लाख 75,000 उसी प्रॉपर्टी का मिला।
The regulator's employees had accused the SEBI hierarchy of fostering a toxic and unprofessional work culture. SEBI rejected these claims, saying its staff was being misguided by external forces. The employees claimed that shouting, scolding and public humiliation had become the norm. SEBI responded by saying the claims were misplaced. All matters were resolved in a continuous process. Another grouse raised in the letter to the Finance Ministry was about unrealistic work targets and continuously shifting goalposts. SEBI blamed it on a section of officers demanding unviable perks and salaries. Meanwhile, this has been the only reaction from the SEBI chief.
Of course, there was a mention of REITs, but Ajkal, if I utter the word REITs, I am accused of conflict of interest. So perhaps it would be better for me to abstain.
Madhvi Puri's Butch's 3-year term ends in March 2025. Further clarifications on the latest set of allegations are awaited. Bureau Report, India Today.
This is where I wrap up the news track tonight. I have a sore throat to nurse, so hopefully we'll get that done over the weekend. I look forward to seeing you at 8 p.m. on Monday evening. Till then, from all of us here, goodbye.